Well, good morning, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. Today we're going to talk about idle reduction technologies. What do I mean by that? APUs, EPUs, auto start stops, optimized idle, those type of things. Over the course of my 25 years of driving, I've had a chance to try all of these technologies. I'll tell you which ones I like, which ones I don't, and why I do and don't like each one. They all have their pros and cons. So hopefully this won't be a super long video. I realize it's Friday. Sorry if it's shaking. They're loading me right now. And so let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into today's video.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round. For my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Okay, we're back and the trailer's still shaking, so they're still loading me. Before I forget, you guys give me a thumbs up, share this video on your social media platforms, and in the description below you'll find my email, my Instagram. Feel free to join me there. Send me an email if you got any questions. Maybe you're not comfortable commenting below. Make sure and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if I didn't. I think I already said thumbs up. Anyway, subscribe. Wait a few seconds. Click that bell. Hit all so that you get notified about future videos. Now, you guys know that I like it over here at Dart. If you'd like to know more about working for them, of course you can email me, but I also included the recruiting phone number there. Make sure and give them my driver number, 58180. That helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Then shoot me an email and let me know that you applied and how it's going. Also, if you don't need to talk to anybody, if you're ready to apply right now, there's a link there where you can do that. Still go ahead and in the drop down deal put my driver number of 58180. Alright, enough about that. Let's jump right into it. So, back in the early 2000s is my early recollection, and I remember on Freightliners they had what they called OptiIdle, and basically what all of these things have in common are and I'm doing this for you new guys, they are systems that are designed to help you idle your truck less. So it saves fuel, it saves wear and tear on the engines, especially these new engines with all this after treatment stuff on it. It's not good for them to idle a lot. So anything you can do to reduce idling helps. For you lease purchase guys, you're saving fuel. The average APU, which is what a lot of people were using, uses about a gallon every 8 hours. Whereas a truck idling, they tell you uses about a gallon an hour. So you can see a big savings. On a 10-hour break, you'd use a gallon and a quart, 1.25 gallons on an APU, and on a truck you'd use 10 gallons. So you could potentially save $9 or $10 a day, around $30 or so, depending on the price of diesel. Okay, on this optimized idle that Freightliner had back in the day, you would set a temperature in the truck, just like you do your home thermostat, and it would start and stop the truck to keep the truck usually within 5 or 10 degrees of that temperature. It worked pretty good, but a lot of these systems have beeps, or they'll honk the horn a couple of times before they start, and so a lot of times you'd find it waking you up at night. I was okay with this system. Obviously, you're going to be starting and stopping the truck a lot more. You're not going to have as great a savings as like what you would with an APU, but you're probably going to go through more starters just because your truck is starting more than what it would normally. Also, there are EPUs, electric power units, and Internationals did a lot of these. It still does. It's a battery-powered system. It has 4 additional batteries that are usually behind the cab. The one I had was between the frame rails. And it works a lot like the optimized idle, but it has 4 batteries to prolong the times between starts. The one I had, I could usually get about 9 hours before the truck would have to crank and run about 45 minutes to charge the batteries. Excuse me. Now, to offset that a little bit, they put a bigger alternator on your truck, but because you're charging more batteries and you're still starting and stopping more, I can see where you'd have increased wear on your starter and on your alternator as well. It is a bigger alternator, putting out more amps. And so I was real happy with that system. I had it on an International, as I said, and it would work flawlessly. TV, Xbox, everything except the microwave. You still needed to have the truck running for that. All of these systems, if you're going to run something high powered like a microwave, you need to have the truck idling. Okay, probably the most popular one, the most everybody knows about, would be the regular traditional APU, auxiliary power unit. And the way I like to describe these is, think of a riding lawnmower engine that is diesel powered. They're about that size. It's a lot easier way to register it in your brain. Now, all of these systems, every one I've mentioned so far, usually have an inverter where you can run household stuff in there, TVs, Xboxes, things like that. The wattage varies by company and things like that. A lot of trucks have 15 or 1800 watt inverters. This Kenworth here has a 2500 watt inverter. And so it's pretty big. It'll power pretty much anything you'd want to do in a truck. And so the thing I had about the APU that I did not like is mechanical problems. There was many months, I had it for 4 years, from 2010 to 2014. Ironically, it was with Dart, and many months I spent more in maintenance on that APU than I did the truck itself. It was just a poor design. It was a Thermo King. It had a plastic pulley that was real bad about braking, and if it didn't break, it was real bad about chewing the belt up. It has a serpentine belt under there, and I tried to find a metal pulley to replace it and never could find one. But when it worked, it was great. It's just maintenance wise, you've got oil changes on it, services, things like that. But when they work, they're great. The thing I did like about the APU, it had like a standby mode. So when you went home, you could set it, and it would keep the truck at a decent temperature. I usually set it a little higher than normal so that it would keep everything inside from getting hot. But it would keep the batteries charged, keep everything good on the truck. And so it was a real carefree experience, even more so than the auto start stop, man, that's hard to say, or the opti-idle or anything like that. You guys know that this Kenworth has Kenworth's version of the auto start stop, and my opinion on it, it's pretty good, but it's too safe. And what I mean by that, if you ever open your door at any time while it's on, it will honk the horn twice before it starts. Now, that's a problem if you're in a truck stop in the middle of the night and you forget that you got out to do something, throw some trash or something, and you get back in. It will upset your neighbors, let's say. So often my wife will remind me to turn it off and reset it so that it does not do that. Even if you don't do that, when you're laying down, it beeps like 5 times before it cranks, and a lot of times it'll wake you up. It just has the traditional 4 batteries like most trucks, so it'll crank several times during the night. I do like the system, but it's going to be like the EPUs, the electric power units with the batteries. I think you're going to have probably more alternators and starters than you would if you had an APU system. So I think overall I probably like the APU the best, followed by the EPU the second best, and probably the auto start stop by Kenworth the third best. They're all, like I said, they all have their pros and cons, their goods and bads, but that's just been my experience. I'd love to hear your experience. Leave me a comment below, shoot me an email, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and we'll catch you on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.